Hey everyone, Reaper here again with another video game video. I'm still focusing on RPGs. This time I wanted to talk a little bit about Lunar. Now I'm not going to cover Lunar 2, I just want to stick with the first one because that to me is the better game, although Lunar 2 is still a very, very good game. Anyway, Lunar I think is one of, let me show you the original release, okay? I don't even know why I have this here. Show you the original release right here, which came out for the Sega CD. Sega CD is often, mocked, and rightfully so, because a lot of the releases on the Sega CD were subpar, but there were a lot that were very good, and quite frankly have been forgotten about over the years. And the system does have some pretty fierce, loyal fans that wish we could see emulation of this and wish we could see sequels or remakes of some of the great games that were released on this. But anyway, Lunar, I think, is one of them. Now, Lunar has seen some remakes. I'll talk about that in a moment. But it first came out for the Sega CD in 1993 by Working Designs. I believe that was the very first game Working Designs put out for the system. So anyway, Lunar is, again, a traditional turn-based Japanese RPG. You attack, then the enemy attacks, then you attack, and whoever's stronger, whoever uses strategy, wins the day. You know, that's typical of the Japanese RPGs. A little different today. Things have changed a bit. But anyway, this is back when not many people in America were playing these type of games. I mean, sure, it had their fan base, but it wasn't until Final Fantasy VII where I think turn-based strategy games, turn-based role-playing games became really, really mainstream. But before that existed this series called Lunar, and it was done very, very well. Follows the story. Let me show you. Working Designs always had variant discs. Now this, I don't know how many there are for each game, but this is the kind that I have, and I like it. I like it a lot. Maybe there's one just Alex on it, or just one with Luna on it, or whatever. But Working Designs really put a lot of effort in their games for their fans. Great artwork and everything else. So here's a little back shot. Anyway, it follows the story of Alex, who wants to be a dragon master, like his hero Dine before him. There's stories about Dine and how he saved the princess and all that stuff, and Dine was from the same village he came from. And he's with his, I guess, stepsister at the time, Luna, and they wind up going on an adventure together. And they meet other characters and then are drawn into this whole we have to save the world sort of scenario, as most of these RPGs usually go to. So it's really almost like a coming of age story for Alex, and he winds up meeting his hero throughout his adventure. He doesn't know it at first. The hero is in disguise, but he winds up meeting his hero, and finds out a couple extra little things about Luna that nobody knew about. So it's a really intriguing story. It's a charming story, and I definitely think it was one of the best RPGs to come out that a lot of people don't talk about, and you don't see a sequel. You don't see sequels today. So anyway, I mentioned earlier about remakes and all that stuff, and there have been several remakes. There have been some re-releases on the Sega Saturn. I don't have those, but the one that introduced me to the series is this one right here for the PlayStation that came out in 1999. Lunar, Silver Star Story Complete. Now this one, again, by Working Designs, they put so much effort into their releases. This was a little more money. I think your average PlayStation game back then was $39.99. I think this was $59.99 or something like that because of all the extra contents, which I'll show you in a few minutes. But it's basically the gameplay is pretty much the same, but they upped the music, they upped the graphics, they added more cutscenes, animated cutscenes, which was nice and charming and all that stuff. They got originally all the voices from the original release, the people that voiced Alex, Luna, Galleon, back for this release. So that was really cool for the fans. This came out back in 93. It was probably worked on in 92, and almost 10 years later, they were able to put this together with a large amount of the voice talent they used back then. So that was really charming. So let's open this up and see what you get in this. Okay. Comes with a lot of things. Well, first, it comes with the game. And like with the other releases, like with every Working Designs release, it comes with different art, different variant discs. I first found out about this when I bought this game. I have the Luna variants, and my friend Chris had the Alex variants. So I was like, oh wow, I didn't know they did different discs. But anyway, pretty cool. Also comes with a cloth map of the Luna world and this hardcover, real nice hardcover instruction, full in color instruction booklet, and it just gives you all this lore and of course how to play and all that stuff on this game. It's just so good, and it shows you, a little bit of it has a little bit of a walkthrough in it, and it shows you all the characters and so forth. I forget where. It's at the beginning, yeah. All the characters you meet and all that stuff. Really, really nice, well put together package. Now, like I said, I'm not going to talk about Lunar 2 really, but Working Designs eventually came out with a re-release of Lunar 2, and it came with the same stuff. Nice map, hardcover instruction booklet, and so forth. The last thing I want to talk about when it comes to this series is this. This was, I believe, the last release of Lunar, last re-release of Lunar. Came out for the PSP, the first PlayStation Portable. They redid the game again, but this time the graphics were really updated. And the music was updated, and they didn't get all the voice talent from the previous games in this, so I think that bothered some of the fans. But anyway, they added a little bit more depth to the original heroes like Galleon and Dyne and Mel and so forth. They gave some scenes and some circumstances where you could take over those characters where you couldn't in the original game releases. So I thought that was really cool. I thought it was fun to play those characters. So for anybody that's looking to get into this series, I highly recommend it. This right here, if you have a PSP, if you really just want to play Lunar and get a really updated experience with it, I would recommend this because it does a really good job. For those of you that want the more retro releases with the re-release and the original, this will probably run you about complete probably $100, and I think the original would probably run you about 120. So for those of you that want to add it to your collection, or you want to have that retro feel on a retro system, on a retro TV, all that stuff, that's the route you want to go. That's how much it would cost you. So thank you once again. Stay tuned for some of the footage from these games, and see you later.
Oh, hello, Noel.
Alex, couldn't you hear me? I've been flying all over for the last half hour calling for you. But I should have known you'd be here.
Oh, Noel. Where else would I be?
In honor of the great Dragon Master, Dyne. I know that Dyne was probably the greatest of the four heroes, Alex, but I'm amazed that you never get tired of coming to stare at his dull monument. Oh, shoot. I just remembered. We better go meet Luna to practice singing.
Welcome to the Magic Guild of Vane, Alex of Berg. I am Galleon, premier of the guild. My apprentice Nash speaks quite highly of you, boy. He said you passed the trial of the White Dragon. If that's true, perhaps you can help me.
Time to die. Time to die.
Forgotten about us.
Watch out! Please move!
Get your fat butt off me!
How rude! My behind is hardly...
Mia, Mel, how can this be? The both of you were most certainly dead.
I'm not dead till I'm 6 feet under!
No matter the means, it's impossible to reach this place dead or alive.
Don't forget who you're dealing with, Eiffel. Actually, this was Mite's doing, so we do owe him a bit of a favor. A bit? I'm going to be the one picking up the pieces once this is said and done. How many times have I said think first, then act? Thornton,